Hey guys, welcome back to Video Games Are Hard, episode 22. I'm Trey, here with Sid, as always.
I'm not gonna awkwardly jump in.
That's when you do it. It's so easy.
I was waiting for a pause, like an actual pause.
I paused so long for that. Hey, whatever.
I know, and then you know what? I jumped in on it instead of being like, "Oh, hey."
It was like a meta. Hey, like I don't know, dude.
Yeah,
we're gonna roll with it though. What's up, guys? Yeah. Last week.
Did you?
Hold on. Important update before you say what you're gonna say. Last week, sure. I had 15 minutes of the 30 minutes of the Piana 6 history video done. This week, I have 19 minutes done.
Woo!
Woohoo! Anyways, that's that. So, go ahead.
I see. What was wrong with my hey?
Because you're like, I'm gonna come in with a hey at a
No, I wanted it not to be awkward. I know. I was waiting for the pause. The actual pause.
You know what? We're done with this. We're done with this.
I know. We had a little bit of a pre-conversation for anybody that doesn't have context, which is everybody except for us two. And I was waiting for the actual, instead of jumping in on the awkward hey, you know, while the other person's just like randomly talking. It's just like, oh, this is Sid and this is Trey, and then it's just like the other guy saying hey.
Right. You were saying you were waiting for the pause. I gave you like the easiest pause ever.
I know. I was waiting for the pause to be like a solid pause. That's it.
Fair enough.
I know it's meta. I know it's super meta.
This is so meta. But oh my god.
I'm fine with starting like this because it's a week off podcast.
Yeah.
It's the start of March break for everybody. It's start
or spring break for those living in the United States of America.
Also true. And it's the start of everything being closed down because of the coronavirus.
I thought we were going to go the whole episode without mentioning that, but I guess it's impossible.
Well, you did at some point mention, like, we should also mention the coronavirus because everybody's talking about the coronavirus. And I'm just like...
I was on like a seesaw between go an entire episode not mentioning it, and we'd be like, this would be like the first media form in the past week to not mention it, which would be kind of unique. At the same time, though, if you can't beat him, join him. Am I right?
Well, also... It's affecting everybody.
Yeah,
like,
even if it's not affecting you,
it's affecting you. Pardon me?
It's a pandemic, so you can't not mention it.
Yeah, also, if I was ever to listen back to this episode in 7 years, I'd be like, oh, what was this? Oh, this was the coronavirus. Well, that ended.
Oh, however, yeah, I've occasionally, not too often, like listen back to earlier episodes, and it's kind of cool. It's like a mini time capsule saying like, oh yeah, that was happening. They were talking about World War III around that time. That's kind of funny.
Yeah. It's interesting, like what comes and goes, and like, oh, this is the first time we mentioned that, and that surprisingly ended up being a big thing, or like if we ever do end up going back to other episodes. So we're mentioning it now. It exists.
So that's a good argument to not mention things.
Yeah, I think mentioning things is fine.
And just wanted to mention that 1 million people leaving comments on my 80% history video quota are all the greatest comedians of our time. You know why? Everybody thinks they're the first person to think of, oh, Corona Mountain, more like coronavirus. Am I right?
Yeah.
I see that. I've literally seen that comment in 7 or 8 different forms in the past week on that one video. It's kind of funny.
Dude, it's so weird how, like, unfazed I am by the name Corona when I'm playing Super Mario Sunshine. Because, again, Corona Mountain is named Corona Mountain. That's the final level of the game. And like I do speedruns of it, and I've been doing speedruns. And
speedrunning is when you play a game as fast as possible.
I came back to 96 Shines this past week, and every time I get to Corona, there's somebody in chat being like, "Oh shit," and I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Wow, I'm glad. That's another reason I'm glad I'm not streaming.
And I go through the entire stream, like not even mentioning coronavirus, anything like that, and then the end, I'm like, "Oh yeah."
I swear to God, with the number of views on that video, I'm certain that many people watching it have never even heard of Mario Sunshine before. So they just see me mention Corona in the first 30 seconds, and they're like, "Holy shit! I see the connection. The pieces are going together." Corona Mountain.
Like, why didn't you make a Corona joke? Come on,
man. That would have been so woke in 2017. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Technically,
before anything.
Hey, if I did my research, I technically could have, because the current coronavirus is not the first coronavirus. It's just one of. There's been a few in the past, so like, had I known better, I could have been like, I could have made some joke there, but it would have been like super relevant today, which would have been funny.
Yeah, because it's the 19th strain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what COVID-19 meant. I thought it was like cooperative video 19 or something, but that's not it.
Somebody told me it, and I was just like, okay, I will know that from the Anyway, that's our coronavirus update. Neither of us have it.
Yep, and Mario Sunshine, they didn't predict it. Corona is just sort of a play on words, because the corona is like the outermost atmosphere of the sun, I believe.
Yeah.
But it's like relevant to the sun. Mario Sunshine makes sense, so.
See, I didn't even think that far ahead. I was just like, I guess they like beer.
I did a little bit of research on that. I actually learned that in the past week because I was like, wait, why is it called Corona Mountain? It can't be related to the virus. But yeah, there you go.
All right, we're here. Now it's the video game podcast.
We're not quarantined yet. At least I'm not. I don't know about you, Sid.
Everything's closed down. Like I'm off for like two weeks after March break.
What's funny is that I'm in such a small town in the middle of flyover state, buttfuck United States, that nothing actually closed down here yet. And I even went to Walmart like 2 days ago, and it was totally like a normal day at Walmart.
Yeah, everything seems normal around here. It's just like Toronto is.
Well, okay, Canada, that no one lives there, so I mean, you know. But we're both sort of in the same boat, if you think about it.
Yeah, but we have no toilet paper. I feel like that's like universal at this point.
I didn't actually check the toilet paper aisle. I should have done that, but I didn't.
Like, there's literally no toilet paper anywhere, and I'm just like, okay, well, good thing I have toilet paper.
Yeah, good thing weird. I literally have the like initial case of toilet paper I had from first moving in months ago, because I will literally go through a single roll in at least 2 or 3 months.
Wow.
Mainly because I mostly shit at work. I don't tell my boss. So, yeah. Anyway,
video games. We play video games.
Yes, and I gave that update on the Piano 6 history video. For those who don't know, I have some history videos for any percent and 120 shines of Super Mario Sunshine. Those are full game category history vids I made. This one's about an individual level though, and I've been putting in the work every week trying to get it out. And I actually finally, I never did this. I didn't do this for the previous 2 videos, but I actually released a teaser trailer for the video on my Twitter account, and it's 2 seconds long. And I think you'll enjoy it.
Fetch.
Basically, that sums up the whole video. Fetch.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
It's a good teaser.
Yeah, that's you may hear the name Fetch come up in the video. Spoilers.
I realized, so we don't have any like IL updates. Last week I was like, we're not going to talk about
ILs.
ILs.
I have one update.
Okay, Trey has one update.
But we're not going to dwell on ILs too much.
No, we're making like we're going to make like a Sid and Trey IL segment that's like 15 minutes long, that we have like a cap on how long we're allowed to talk about ILs. Because you know what? The past few weeks been fucking insane.
It's hard to not talk about it so much. It's hard to care about IL competition when you're not in the community, which we understand, which is why we don't want to talk about it too much. But if you're in the Sunshine community, ILs have been popping off. There's been a huge resurgence in like ILs have never been like a main competitive thing in Sunshine at any point, with the exception of maybe Piano 6 at some point. But recently, with all these crazy like IL spreadsheet updates and in-game time codes being around for a while, it's really competitive now.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the new point system, but I get it.
I think it's pretty good, to be honest.
I get it, but the only reason that I don't like it is because because I'm good at levels that nobody else is good at. So
yeah,
I'm not good at any of the popular levels, and I'm good at all of the levels that are not popular. So it's just kind of annoying that there's a new point system with the ILs, the individual level runs, where like depending on how many people actually have times for that level, you'll get an extra point. So I have world records in times, and they're good world records, but they're levels that only 8 other people have times on the leaderboards for, versus, I don't know, Bianco 4, or like levels that have upwards of probably 40 times, where it's just, okay, well, cool. I guess I get 8 points for this world record.
That's one reason why ILs have been popping off, especially recently, because One Ups for Life sort of created this point system. He coded it sort of to... I don't know how it works. He puts all the spreadsheet data into something, it spits out some numbers, and you get the highest amount of points for getting the record. and then 1 point less for every time coming after that. And it's a pretty good system because it doesn't overly weight quantity of runs over quantity, or quantity over quality. Because if you don't do a lot of the levels that don't have many times on them, it's not going to hurt you too much because there's not many points to be had there regardless.
Lame.
I think it's a good system though. It just sucks for Sid because he's good at all the obscure levels.
Like JP Powell was in the chat. JPEP. He was in my chat and he was just like, "Oh man, I'm dreading this new point system because I'm gonna have to play levels that I don't have, or like that aren't any percent." And I'm sitting there going like, I'm in the exact opposite boat. Like now I have to play all the any percent levels that everybody's optimized to shit, and I'm gonna get like 0 points.
But if you think of it this way, I think eventually you'll actually gain points over time as people start to fill out the entire spreadsheet, because every time you have a time better than a new person gets on that thing, you actually gain a point every time someone plays a level and they do worse than you.
Yeah, so so either I have to dedicate, which is why I was earlier today being like, I don't want to do, like I was forcing myself to do a lot of the ILs, and I got bored a world and a half in, and I just didn't want to play anymore because you can't just force it.
Yeah,
I feel like, and it's just really annoying to do a lot of bad ILs and then just like hoping for a decent time. Because I'm not like going in being like, I need to learn the hardest movement for this specific shine. And it's really exhausting going in and being like, okay, what's the fastest movement? All right, well, I'm just not going to do that. I'm just going to do like garbage and then hope it's decent and then getting like more points. What's so dumb is I got more points in like 3 of those levels than I do for half of my world records. And I'm just like, I hate this.
But eventually when people start playing the levels that you're better at, which hardly anyone's played yet, like
nobody's going to play them.
If 10 people play Bianco 8 or like Piazza hundreds and get a worse time than you get 10 points for that.
Hog.
So you're playing the long game in a sense.
I am definitely playing the long game.
Once people fill out their whole spreadsheet, you're going to get more points. I guarantee it.
My points are based on other people playing the levels
and being worse than you.
Yeah, that's how I'm earning.
Which will happen because you have some insanely optimized times on some of those levels.
Well, insanely optimized being not a lot of people are going to be able to, or not. I look at it like this: people are not going to be willing to put in enough time to beat my levels.
Right. I guess that's a better way to phrase it. They are really good times, though. Don't sell yourself short.
Yeah, maybe I'll try to get some of them back, but I'm kind of in the camp that there should be a world record bonus in some realm.
I had that idea like early on, but I'm not really sure how they would do that.
Because it's just like you're first, and then the second guy gets 1 point less than you. And then if somebody steals that time, it's just like, what? I know the competitive nature should kick in and be like, well, past a certain point, you're not going for points and you're just going for world records and stuff. But from the bird's eye view, looking at it, I'm like, that seems kind of lame. But I don't know how to fix any of it. It's just whatever.
There maybe should be like a 5-point bonus for world record. Because Ouija has a ton of world records, but doesn't have as many times as some like equivocal genius and Oathflaker. So he's still behind them, even though he's probably better.
Dude, legit, if you fill out the board, you get top 30 for free.
Oh, like yeah. You could put whatever time you want in every single time, and you get top 30 or whatever.
It's pretty insane.
At least
that's
for
why
now.
I was trying to fill it out.
Over time, it'll get more competitive, and standards will go up inevitably. So,
all right, we're nearing the end of our IL segment, Trey.
One more thing I had to give.
Yes.
I thought it was funny. So, funny anecdote involving a SMS community member, Lou Marty. Last episode that we posted, episode 21, I tweeted it out. He replies to that tweet, or I should preface this with, in the first few minutes of that episode, I was giving my speedrunning or my gaming resume for the first time ever. And Sid suggested that I put on the resume Rico 3 IL world record holder, which I did have. And then in a reply to the tweet of that podcast episode, Lou Marty asked, when did you record this? I say last Saturday. And I speculate that has something to do with him beating that time between that episode and this recording. Because he wanted to get his shout out. So congrats to Lou Marty on his 14.3. Also, Ouija tied that time. Now I'm third in Rico 3. So,
dude,
okay.
I am so sick of everybody that is top level in this game being so fucking good at this game. Everybody, I'm so sick of it. I'm sick of everybody being so good.
It's too late, Sid. We're not going to be able to catch up with them.
God, I'm so tired of it.
Like Ouija, it's nutty. I don't know if I mentioned this last episode, but I got the Pianta 2 world record, which is the Piantissimo race, where you just race Piantissimo up the tree and get to the flag. Yeah. I got a 12.57. I literally spent an hour and a half saving one frame over the previous record. Ouija beats that time in the next 6 minutes by a frame, and then within 20 minutes beats it by 3 more frames. So he has a 12.44 within 20 minutes of trying.
You DM'd me the second he got it.
And it's literally like, all you do is water slide, do some spin jump dives, and you're there. And I'm thinking, like, I'm sure that time save is possible, but it's just crazy he can save it. He just sees the lines and the micro time saves everywhere. It's crazy.
I'm starting to get to being able to see the lines. Nokey 3 really helped me with lines.
Oh, that level is all lines.
But it's pretty, like, Calf's trying to get back into the ILs now that the point system's a thing. He's farming points.
He's about to farm.
He's getting good times. Like, he tied Samu's pin of 7. Like, there are people coming back and being motivated by the spreadsheet. So I'm just waiting for people to play my levels. Just play my levels. Everybody play my levels, but don't beat my levels.
Actually,
don't
wait.
Beat me.
I kind of don't want the world record point thing to be implemented because I have so many, like, 2nd and 3rd place times on there. I'm kind of getting carried by being just top world record in a lot of times. So don't do that.
Dude, I think I'm like 25th or something on the board.
I'm actually way higher than I expected because I'm like maybe top 10-ish. Even though I don't even have like half the times on there probably, which is better than I was expecting. So that's kind of surprising.
I need to just I just need to play any percent levels. Dumb.
Yeah. Is there any more IL updates you want to give?
I don't think so. I think that's pretty much it. I just want everybody to play. Everybody that does ILs and is listening to this podcast, just go play Pianta hundreds or Pianta
and give Sid some points.
8. And just give me some points. Don't see this is my fear. All right, that like Oat and Equivocal Genius and JP Pal or whatever, they all go into all the the pro ILers. They like confab, and they figure out or like separately try to all beat my time. But before they beat my time, they don't even post times. Like they just keep grinding until they beat it. So I don't even get points. And then it's just,
I think we just revealed the biggest flaw of the spreadsheet. You can just hoard times so that others don't get as many points till you get a better time than them.
There are a lot of flaws with this spreadsheet. That's not one. Like, you can type whatever number you want unless it's not working.
Once it gets even more crazy, we're going to have to require video proof for like top 10 times maybe.
There's an honesty requirement for everything. So I don't lie about any of my times, and you should not lie about any of your time. Not you, just the royal you.
Thanks for telling me morals.
You shouldn't either. You shouldn't lie about your times, because everything not world record.
I have a 41 Nokey 3, by the way.
Everything not world record, except for specifically Nindide, requires video proof.
Oh, actually, I have a 42.16 Nokey 3 I'm going to put on there.
No.
I don't need video, though, because it's not world record, so. I just wanted to bob JP Pal, but not Sid.
I just wanted this time just before world record. And you know what? I got it. I got world record first, but then I submitted my just below world record.
Yep.
It is weird that Nindide gets like a pass for videoless world records.
Well, Oathlicker was cracking down on that. We'll see how that goes.
He's trying to. He's just like, hey, where's the world record?
Ouija, include the entire clip of the level, please, not just half of it. Thank you.
see, you know what? I posted I actually recently, last update, this is the IL segment ender.
It's so easy to go on about this, but we're going to stop like in a second, we promise.
We're going to stop. I beat my Pianta hundreds by like 3 frames randomly while I was practicing it.
Woo.
It's people. Anyway, I submitted it on the IL world record. It still has like a failed attempt at the start, but it does have the full world record IL in it.
So you sort of pulled a Kenny.
I sort of did, but
Not
it's
as
like
badly,
10
though.
seconds. It's just like here are bad mushrooms, and then here's a world record. It's just
Yeah, that's fine.
It's just how it goes. Anyway, that's the end of the IL segment. We might do that every so often.
For anyone interested and doesn't know about the IL stuff, I might link the IL spreadsheet in the description so you can sort of get an idea. Also, it's linked on speedrun.com/SMS in the guides or resources section. So just so you know, ILs are becoming quite the craze recently. People are looking past just full game runs all the time. So,
but also if you're looking to just like open the spreadsheet and just spam it with random things, you actually have to be verified.
Right. So at least we do have that
it.
sort of measure where you can't just go in there and edit it willy-nilly. You have to get permission from a moderator to get your own row set up, and you can only edit your own row. So.
And I do like the fact that it's ordered in the points now instead, because before it was ordered in a semi.
It was like any percent PB. People kept getting new PBs though, and they were too lazy to update it. So it was like a random order essentially.
And then just like people that did ILs were pushed closer to the top.
People were like asking to get their rows moved up some more.
See, what's the most annoying thing about this new update is that because my points are so low because I don't do any levels except for the ones that are unpopular, I have to scroll down to my name now, which is annoying.
That's motivation to do more levels.
Yeah, sure. I'll do all the Shadow Marios.
That was my motivation to come back to any percent. It was auto splitter being a thing, and I didn't want to have to scroll down to see my name going to speedrun.com. So there's that.
IL segment's over. We're not talking about ILs anymore.
No more ILs. No more coronavirus. Maybe more coronavirus. We'll see.
I don't have anything else to say. we're not taking it that seriously, I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people in my area just don't really care.
Oh yeah, especially like where I am. I haven't seen anyone talking about it at all. Maybe like at work they'll bring it up like, oh yeah, that thing's happening. All right, whatever.
There was some guy going around trying to sell, what was it, hand sanitizer for $50 a bottle.
Yeah, don't be that guy who falls for that.
And I was sitting there going like, what? And that's kind of it.
Like, wait, you can just wash your hands with soap for free, or like your water bill.
Like, soap isn't low, and it's like people aren't really like. I was talking to my dad the other day, and he was just like, people aren't taking this seriously enough, and I'm just like, I don't know if
it depends on where you are.
Yeah, like, and what was it? So like, we have no toilet paper, but people aren't taking seriously enough. It's just a weird dichotomy.
I don't understand the toilet paper thing. Why wouldn't you go for like canned goods and stuff? And
see, like diesel fuel, generators, stuff like that. Like that sounds more.
That sounds useful.
But I don't know. People really like wiping their ass with something like comfortable, I guess. Which is fine. But if it's
honestly, when it comes down to it, you can wipe your ass with anything.
Yeah, if it becomes the end time, it's
use your hand and wash your hands. Easy. I'm gonna do that, but
yeah.
If you had no more toilet paper,
hopefully you bought enough soap.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Like I don't have enough soap.
Hopefully you bought enough $50 hand sanitizer bottles. That's a steal.
Okay, IL segment's over. IL segment's over. Coronavirus segment's over.
Yep. So you're getting a little bit burnt out on speedrunning, right?
Dude, I am perpetually burnt out. Like I get burnt out and then I'm like, I'm motivated for a week. And you know what? This week I was super motivated until like Friday when I just had a bad day. I just had a bad stream day. It wasn't even a bad stream day. It was just a bad run day. I didn't get a full run in. Each other day I got a full run in. One was actually world record pace until a point. And that point was like probably just after halfway through. But you know what? I'm not going to say it definitely would have been world record pace. I knew it wasn't going to be world record. It just ended up dying at some point. I'm just saying it was at some point world record pace. The world record's like 2 minutes faster than what I do. Anyway. But just the fifth day was just ugh. And now that the IL stuff, you can't force the ILs. So now I'm just all burnt out and I hope it just comes back tomorrow. And I think I'm going to just force myself to take weekends off. Because I went all week this week, every morning, doing runs. And it was going really well until Friday.
I feel like whenever you go into something, you go like too hard. Like the everyday thing is kind of a bit too much, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the balance. Like, I don't want to do every other day, but or I don't want to do every day, but I think every other day is just too inconsistent stream wise. Like, I either want to be
Really?
well, see, I want to try to do like every weekday stream at least.
See, what I would do is only like 3 days a week. I thought that was fine.
Yeah, and that sounds fine, but I'd like to do like every more.
Like,
maybe I'll have to change it up at
3
some point.
days a week streaming, and in between days you practice offline.
Like, I should be, because early in 2019 I was every day for a month and a half, and you know what? I got hella burnt out after that. But you know what? I got through the first month and a half. So
Yeah.
because I was trying to do what Ducky's doing, which is every day a stream thing. But except for mine was every day a 96 shine run, which died after 40 days. But you know what? After 40 days, that's a pretty healthy chunk of 96 shine. That's more than Reed got done of any percent runs last year for sure in the first month and a half. And,
yeah, I think that's definitely true.
So I don't know. I just need to buckle down and get to it, and not let like little things set me off.
It sucks that in like 2014, we didn't have to be in a special mood or like a certain mindset to do runs. We just did them because it was fun.
Yeah.
And nowadays it's like, I'm just not feeling it most of the time. And also I'm busy.
Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's fun. But
sometimes I get random bursts of motivation. Then I'm like, oh yeah, I got to work on the Piano 6 video. Okay.
Yeah, that's fair. That's why I like to do it. Like, I never used to define myself as a morning person, but I think I'm kind of a morning person now. But like, after doing speedrunning for how long as I have, because it's just a really good way to start the day for some reason.
I'm being forced to be a morning person because of my normie work schedule.
Yeah. Well,
so like all these other degens in our friend group staying up till 5 a.m. and I'm like, yeah, I can't do that anymore. Sorry.
Dude, you know what? If you accidentally stay up with the degens until 5 a.m., doing a 6 a.m. stream of 96 shines is pretty rough.
Yeah, you got to get your sleep in, bro.
No, it's true. I've
seen a stat
it's tough.
On a Joe Rogan podcast, so you know it's true, that you're 20 to 30% better in terms of skilled performances after a good night's sleep than like the end of your practice session the day before.
Okay.
So pretty crucial to get your sleep in.
So I guess I'll get more sleep.
Especially after practicing.
Good. You know what? That sounds fun.
Which I realize nowadays, since we're a little more well-versed in Sunshine, we don't have to practice as much, but still important.
See, I do, though. That's the difference. Like, the way that I'm going to have to invest time... I'm almost at a breakthrough. I don't think we've done a podcast since I've realized that I'm almost at a breakthrough. Because I need to balance everything. Like, I've been doing ILs, and I've been doing practice, and I've been doing runs. And you just need to equally balance everything and try to, like, use IL strats in runs. I actually, to bring it back to the IL segment for a split second.
Back to it.
It's hard. It's really the ILs being a huge part of our speedrunning.
They're really big right now, guys. This is like the biggest ILs have been in history for Sunshine.
Well, all I'm going to say is that I got the Pinna 5 world record, and I actually translated it to being able to do it in runs. And I did it twice. I ended up getting the strat twice and golded it with a horrible cycle. I got a horrible cycle and still golded the split.
And you didn't even bonk the roller coaster.
I didn't even bonk the roller coaster. I got it twice in a row. So I feel like doing ILs is definitely helpful to like learn strats and adapt towards practice, but then you have to actually practice them instead of doing all out ILs. ILs are not practice, but ILs can contribute to practice. That's how I look at it right now. And practicing those things is important, but also practicing it on the actual game instead of in regular Nintendo practice codes. That's definitely valuable. Like, don't only practice on disc. I'm not saying don't practice on practice codes. Like, learning things on practice codes, very valuable. But I think you have to do like a little bit of IL on the actual disc just to get the differences down. Because I after playing on disc for as long as I had, I can feel the little differences between like the no lag, and I feel like the camera is slightly different on Nintendo, on the practice codes.
Oh, on your Nintendo, do you have native controls on?
See, I don't. RSW's been mentioning that. I don't know what any of that is.
There's like a settings menu. When you go to Nintendo, you can like go to settings, hitting start, or not start, I think it's B. You get this long list of stuff. Make sure native controls is on, because when I first got Nintendo to practice codes, like a long time ago, I did not have native controls on, and my angles were all fucked up. Like, in a usual, like in default Delfino spawn, when I would usually hold upright and not bonk the tree, it would like bonk the tree on codes because I didn't have it turned on.
I don't know.
So make sure that's turned on. If that's turned on, it should be fine. But yeah.
Well, okay. And also playing J is different. I feel like doing a little bit of practice on actual disc is super helpful, even just for the lag. Because like there are points in the game that are slightly different because of lag, especially Gelato Hundo. Like Gelato 100's no lag versus lag is actually insane. And I'm surprised that the world record wasn't better, because the lag not being there is actually broken. So yeah. So it's like ILs, and then try to transfer some things to practice, and then do some practice and do runs. And you just do everything in not necessarily a cycle, but in moderation for sure. And I think that's I'm near a breakthrough. I don't know how close, and me talking about it is getting me more motivated to do the run, but I'm waiting until tomorrow. But yeah, but I'm burnt out on like just filling out the board to fill out the board. I don't think I'm physically able to do that. Just filling out the board.
I've been like super playing in moderation, because the vast majority of my time has been spent working on the video, but I'll occasionally take little short 1 to maybe 2 hour breaks from working on the video so I don't go insane, where I just work on some random IL, maybe like improve one or attempt a different IL I haven't done before. And that's how I've been sort of slowly chipping away at the spreadsheet, but not going too crazy on it.
Yeah. I committed like 3 hours this. It wasn't even that long. It was legit less time than I would have streamed 96 Shines, and I wouldn't have gone this insane with 96 Shines. I just at the end of the stream, there was like just 20 minutes of, I was streaming it. There was just 20 minutes of me just I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. It's just so bad. So it just gets exhausting.
My only pet peeve with this whole video thing is that people don't realize, in my life right now, I sort of have a 3 things I can do. It's go to work, stream, work on the video. Pick 2 of those things. Oh, and also you should probably pick work, because if you don't pick work, your life's in shambles. So.
Oh yeah. I
can't do all 3 of those things at once, essentially.
Just stream and work on the video, Pog.
Yeah, fuck work. I don't need that.
How do you think the video is going to do? I don't think I've actually asked this question. Like, how much interest do you think people are going to have in Pianta 6 specifically?
I think it's going to be great.
Well, I'm not saying it's going to be, like, quality-wise, it's going to be amazing.
I know you're saying my video is going to suck. It's fine.
No, I'm going to be super interested in the result, because I even know the history. Like, Syrup at some point, and Fetch is going to be in there.
Syrup is in there.
All that stuff. Like, we're going to go back in time for another round of Average Trey revisits Sunshine Records stuff, which is cool.
It's more interesting than you'd expect. I'll give you that.
Yeah, and so I'm just wondering.
But I think it's definitely more interesting from the perspective of someone who hasn't played the game before.
Okay.
Well, but like, I think that even as a runner, you'll get something out of it for sure.
Well, yeah. It's not like I didn't enjoy the any percent world record history or 120 shines, because that's what you did really well with those. Like, you were welcoming and being like, oh, it's the black sheep of the SMS, or the Nintendo.
SMS is the black
Mario
sheep of
lineup.
SMS.
SMS is the black sheep of SMS. But
it's true though.
But like, welcoming people that didn't know exactly, but being part of the community, I didn't watch it and go like, you know what, this game seems like shit. Galaxy, what was the comment? Never mind. I was gonna.
Was there
like,
comments about Galaxy?
There was somebody in a chat was saying, SM64 is the best speed game. I think somebody was talking good about Sunshine, just like, oh, I love Sunshine. And I'm sitting in the chat and like not saying anything, being like, yeah, Sunshine's pretty good. And somebody else was just like, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of but SM64 is the best speed game. Galaxy is really good casually, and Odyssey is the best balance of both. And I'm sitting there going like, I fucking hate you. Like, I don't know who you are. I don't know what your politics are, but I hate
But
you.
they don't line up with mine, so yeah.
I thought it was really funny. I made it my like stream title for like 2 times in a row. Pretty funny.
I thought you were referencing the Trihex thing.
No, that's a good reference.
There's a huge meme with Trihex. He had this command when Odyssey came out, and he was a huge Odyssey streamer, where he sort of gave his little opinion on each Mario game. And
in like a little blurb as a bot in his channel.
Yeah, 64, it was like, well, you can't really make fun of it. It's the first of its kind, so, you know, it's fine. And then Sunshine, it was like something about being all gimmicky with Flood, and
yeah.
What else did it mention?
Well, it went from like it was mostly to compare towards those games. So
yeah,
like
comparing Odyssey to the games, yeah.
Yeah, so you were, because Odyssey was fresh, you know, he was doing his like initial playthrough or speedruns week of stuff like that, and it was type exclamation point SM64 or exclamation point Sunshine, and it would tell you his like opinion towards that game compared to Odyssey. And it's just like SM64, oh, it's the first of its kind. You can't really critique it. It's vintage. Everything is so great. And then it's just like cuts to Sunshine. It's like, it's kind of a piece of shit. Flood's a gimmick. Tropical themed being consistent throughout the whole thing. I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
it doesn't really shake it up at all.
Theme, you know, it's so bland.
It only has one theme, and I'm just like sitting there looking at this being like, that's hilarious. And we've copied, like, 1UPS definitely has them copied somewhere.
Oh yeah, I probably have it somewhere as well.
It was just so funny. You can talk about you can talk about when you like referenced it to Trihex.
Yeah, so and we didn't even mention, Flood is super gimmicky, but Cappy though, that's sick.
Yeah,
totally
dude,
different,
Cappy's
not gimmicky at all.
champ.
Yeah. Anyway, so this one time Trihex was showcasing my any percent history video to his stream, which was really cool. And I was on there like watching him give his reaction and stuff. I think the coolest part of that was at some point in the video, I show like this screenshot of an old SDA thread, a Speed Demos archive thread, like the old forums for speedrunning essentially. And it had Trihex from like 2005 in that thread. And he pauses the video there, like, look at your boy, look at how old I am, look at your boy. It's pretty funny. But yeah, after that video, I think afterwards, I actually called them out. Like, I called them out on that command. I forgot what I said, but he's like, "Oh no, you get the wrong idea. Let me explain myself." It was pretty funny. I forget what his explanation was, but yeah, I think Trihex is a really cool guy. We just think it's a really funny commands to have.
Yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, SM64, you can't touch it. It's like, it should be placed in a museum. Sunshine, though, piece of garbage.
It's just the funniest thing is that's just like such the typical viewpoint on that. It's like, it is, SMS is the black sheep of SMS.
It definitely is the black sheep.
You can shit on it, and people are like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but then there's this contingent that love it. And it's just like, okay. It's just, I don't know, it's definitely socially acceptable to hate on Sunshine. Which is fine. I'm fine with that. I'm not like, I don't entangle my identity within this. So it's just like, okay, you don't like Sunshine? Nowadays. I don't know. Back in the day, maybe I would.
Back in the day, maybe like in 2013, I'd get slightly offended. But nowadays, I really couldn't care less.
It was like, oh, you don't like it? Oh, okay, why?
In 2013, I was also a dumbass. Like, I was the super annoying nut-hugging stream monster that I get annoyed by these days.
Oh, I was never that.
Well, you're a much better person than me. I was definitely like a nut hugger of Samurai Man. Like, I can't even deny it. So,
didn't Trihex at some point host you and you referenced it? Like, didn't he raid you? I feel like that's where the confrontation actually happened.
Oh,
where you just like
referenced it totally botched that. You're actually right. He hosted me and I said that. Crap.
Yeah.
Well, ignore my story.
Because like you couldn't type it in the chat. I know that he watched it on stream at some point, but I know that he rated you or hosted you, and you were just like, oh, well, you're gonna host me during this shitty game, or I don't know what you exactly said, but
You're totally right. Yeah, I could have sworn I mentioned it during that showcase thing, but I think you're actually right.
Yeah.
So he hosted me, and I called him out via my own voice, and he was in the chat defending himself, and I'm like, oh, it's all right, I understand.
It's just funny. Just accept that it's a meme that exists from now on.
It's a really good meme.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for Odyssey 2 so that Odyssey 2 can be like, you know what, compared to Odyssey 1, Odyssey 1 was a gimmick.
Odyssey 1 was the first of its kind. You can't really critique it.
No.
Odyssey 2, piece of garbage.
When's the next time some Mario game is going to be the first of its kind so you can't critique it? Oh.
Well, the first Galaxy, it's first of its kind. You can't really critique it, so.
God damn.
Yeah, that went off on a pretty big tangent. With getting burnt out in speedrunning, you were talking about how you were not entirely sure where to even begin looking for a new speed game to potentially pick up.
Yeah, dude, Trey and I always talk about like trying to find a new speed game.
And
like,
we did try. We legitimately gave it our best shot at getting back into Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Our best shot.
And Sid got bored around sequence 4. I got bored around sequence 6. And we just realized we're sorry, Cynicism, we failed you. It's just, we need something shorter, right?
Yeah.
It's too long.
We need to bite. With Assassin's Creed, we were biting off more than we could chew. Like, we were just like, it's a 3.5 hour world record. Our PBs are both 4.5 hours. And we have to learn the route.
If we learn the route, we could easily improve that to like a 3:30 or better, no problem. Yeah. But it's a lot of work and a lot of time putting into that for not even close to world record. So, yeah.
It's gonna be some work. But so yeah, we're trying to think of new speed games, like kind of like ILs are popping in Sunshine. I'm trying to get back into 96 Shines. It's the eternal issue where it's just like I can't take myself away from my current speed game, but also I hate my current speed game sometimes. So it would be nice to be like, you know what? I'm just going to do Mario Kart Double Dash ILs, but I actually don't want to do that. I don't actually want to do that, but just an example.
And I mean, I actually have a lot of experience with picking up multiple speed games, but even when I had those speed games, when I was playing Pac-Man World 2 or doing some SSX tricky, whether it was ILs or all races, I always knew like, okay, this is sort of my thing I'm doing for a couple months. Then I go back to Sunshine. But I've never been in that situation where I'm like, this game might be my new main game, and then Sunshine becomes a thing of the past.
Yeah,
I've never had a game like that before.
I don't know if I'll ever hit that.
And it's like,
maybe if
it's like how much can you go back? Like I want to continue to play Sunshine, but you just wonder how many years can you keep that up?
It depends on how much I get speed bullied.
Yeah, so stop popping Sid tonight, and maybe we'll play Sunshine more.
Yeah, it's just like
stop being so good at the game.
If suddenly, like within 4 days, I go through the emotional roller coaster of like all of my ILs are gone, I'm like 20th in 96 Shines and can't touch any of the times. Like it's just, I don't know. It's like I don't know.
The world is conspiring against you, Sid.
Sunshine is just filled with people that are really good at the game and have played 3+ years, like 2+ years.
Okay, I can sum up exactly what's going on. So we old boys, we played Sunshine for a long time. We got good through many hours dedicated practice. But I wouldn't say most of us are like inherently good at games, except for maybe like Cathalon. But these new kids that show up, they get good extremely fast. Like if I started when they started, I would be nowhere near their skill level. Not even close. So that sort of demotivates us because we're like, damn, they're like actually good, right?
That's why I'm trying to like work from the ground up with like practice. Like figuring out.
That's not saying it's too late for us. We can always sort of get more dedicated into practice. At the same time, we're not as motivated because we've done it for so many years. It's like, can we really get ourselves back into that mindset of starting ground up? All right. Forget all your muscle memory, relearn all this shit, and become actually good at the game.
You know what? After 6 years, I'm fucking tired.
And you know what? Sid and I were having a speedrun midlife crisis, you could say, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
And
we need to find.
we're on the job hunt, the game hunt.
Yeah.
And eventually, not right now, I'm working on the video, we're doing our own thing, playing ILs, still sort of into Sunshine. But eventually, we need sort of our new big game to really sink a lot of time into to speedrun.
And when he says we, it means both of us. Because I feel like Trey and I do really well. Like,
It wouldn't feel
when
the
we
same
go to
playing
a new
different
game,
games.
it becomes really easy to digest a new speed game if you're just like, oh, hey, Trey, you're really new too to this game. What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
it's with somebody else, it's really easy to just digest it all instead of being like, hey, I'm new. You guys
like,
are all...
When we started playing Sunshine, it was so easy to do that because the standards were so much lower. You could see yourself being as good as the top players starting out when we started. Because you look at like Chibi or Tobo, and like they're pretty damn crazy, but it doesn't seem like an unreachable goal. But dude, starting out now, you look at Ouija and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, also, there's just like when we started, there was an influx of people that just started playing.
That too. We started right before sort of that baby boomer pop from GBS and all that.
Yeah, there was an SGDQ little bit of people coming in.
Snarfy Boba brought a lot of people in.
Yeah, a trickle, and then GBS came out, and then everybody started playing. It's just like, okay, we're all here. It's like, okay, well, we're all scrubs.
It was a perfect storm of events.
Let's figure it all out. But people are still joining the community. It's not like people are turned off. You shouldn't be turned off by the best player in the game. You shouldn't look at Mario Kart Double Dash and being like, oh, Goomba's really good.
Yeah. See,
Optimus Emo,
the thing
really
is, knowing that now, if I had my mindset on speedrunning going into it today, I would think that and be like turned off from it, being like, oh, I'd never be that good. But having the mindset now, knowing it's about self-improvement and not just world records, I'd be more willing to pick it up for sure.
Yeah. And another reason Trey and I have been trying to, I don't know, I mentioned it and he mentioned it as kind of like a topic we could go into. Bringing a friend from another community, aka Trey for me or me for Trey, I guess both ways, vice versa, whatever. Bringing another person into the community with you adds to your enjoyment, but also potentially to like the community itself. Because we were talking about how communities RNG.
Yeah, that's the topic of this video. The community is RNG.
The community is just luck. Because SMS community was just, you know what? Sometimes it's on fire.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? But we have our pockets. Like, there are pockets of the SMS community that are really calm and cool. And sometimes we open it up to be like, hey, what's going on outside? And everything's on fire.
Not always, but sometimes.
In the leaderboard discussion and all that stuff, it's just like, oh, okay, we can talk to each other. Okay, we're going to go back, call the authorities maybe, and then back into our little hovels. We have the good people segment over here that don't really play Sunshine anymore except for Trey and I. But
when a game gets big enough, it sort of creates these cliques within the community.
Yeah.
Inevitably, it's like high school.
It's kind of funny, though. I feel like I've never thought about it before. I'm the exact same role I was in high school in these cliques. Well, to be fair, there are just cliques that just accept everybody.
I'm definitely not. I'm like an alpha Chad in speedrunning compared to what I was in school.
Yeah.
I was a loser
like,
in school.
I was the guy that just went, I wasn't popular, but I was able to be in the popular kid group and then also be in the uncool kid group. Like, I was the guy, maybe I was the uncool kid, who knows?
I definitely knew people who fit that exact same niche from my school.
Yeah.
But I definitely couldn't fit in with the cool kids. I
just went through everybody, which is fine. Like, I just interacted with everybody. And the Sunshine community has a lot of groups that are just like that.
Yeah.
Where there's the guy Discord where I'm not in the guy Discord, or I'm in the guy Discord, but I'm not one of the guy clique, but I can interact with any of them. The guy squad, my bad. But I can interact with any of them on a moment's notice and they'll be like, oh, hey, there's a lot of people in SMS that are just really nice and just are able to talk to you. Like some people are, I don't know, hard to deal with sometimes,
But they're very, very few and far between.
very few.
Very few. But yeah, there's definitely some stinkers in there.
But like going to a new game, you're rolling the dice. You're just like, who's in this community? Is the world record holder an asshole?
As time goes on, you feel like you're picking a particular game based on the quality of the game. Like you're looking at, okay, how much RNG versus length of the run is there? How hard are the skips to do? How long is the run? And all that stuff. But the main thing you got to consider when picking a game up is, A, is there a community? And B, what sort of personality does that community have?
Yeah.
And does it sort of like, does it
like,
vibe with you, or does it fail the vibe check?
Yeah, dude, people fail the vibe check.
Because let me tell you, I would still be playing Tricky to this day, I think, but the SSX Tricky community sort of fails the vibe check with me.
dude, vibe check is real.
We just
and
don't
vibe check is like,
see, okay, when I started running Tricky, it was actually the second game I picked up. I picked up Sunshine like in early 2013. Didn't stream yet. Tricky was the only other game I played before streaming. This was like early 2014. I was vibing hard with my boy Jack SSX. He was like my first real friend in speedrunning. And I was like, yo, Tricky's gonna be dope. I got this friend. It's gonna be sick. And we still talk every now and then, not so much recently, but like he's, you know, he became ex-con. There's a whole thing with that.
He's gone through an arc.
There's a whole, I could cover it at some point in the future. There's a whole arc with Jack SSX, ex-con, Garth. It goes way back. But the other, like the community as a whole for that game, it's not bad. Like it's functional and it works. I just don't vibe with it personally, and that's my take on that.
Vibe check is instant. Like you can go to a streamer and be like, well, like, and they can be active and talking to their chat and playing their video game, but there's a vibe check, and sometimes they just don't pass the vibe check, and it goes with communities as well.
And like Pac-Man World 2, I was vibing hard with like Ruseman, Frenchie, Nacho, all them. Nowadays it's totally different, and I didn't stop playing the game because of community reasons. It was more like I'm tired of playing the game and grinding at Simps reasons. But yeah, Sunshine easily has the best overall community of any game I played, easily.
Is it carried by the community?
The community definitely carries it. It almost makes you forget PD and King Boo are even in the game. Almost.
I don't know. I feel like the top players make you remember that PD and King Boo are still in the game. I think that the amount of complaining that a lot of top players do.
Yeah. But you know, it's a great community,
dude,
as a whole.
Like legit, the complaining about certain things by higher tier players in the community affect the lowest tier players in the community. And
yeah, it's sort of like a trickle down mindset.
And I've never complained, like, I've never been a big complainer about the beginning. Every now and then I get tired of the beginning, except for, like, I know Hacked File is now instated and Peach File is all instated and all that.
We all get annoyed by getting 3 terrible PDs in a row.
Yeah. But I, like, the higher tier players being more open about their complaints in certain areas of the game, like J. Cool complaining about the opening of the game over and over again just affected a lot of newer players to the point where, like, there are a bunch of, or I don't know if there's a bunch of clips, but I know specifically one clip, and I think I referenced it last week, Ice Windowsill links, or has a link for, of just this player that I don't remember their name. They had like a 140 time, which, like, if you're working up, it's a fine time to, like, have a goal to be sub 140, but it's not that great of a time. I'm gonna
by today's standards.
Yeah. So, and they're just like standing there. They failed PD wall kick, and they're just like, I don't want to watch the 7 minutes again. But like and they're just so tilted at windmill, and just at literally just wall kicking. And I'm sitting there going like, why though? Like, why are you so tilted at this one moment? It's just because a few people in the community, or maybe a bunch of people in the community, just complain nonstop about these certain areas, and it just trickles down to these other players that, you know what, it doesn't have it has some effect, but it doesn't have much.
They just haven't developed the mindset from doing more and more attempts where you know you have time save later on.
It's tough, and that's random too. Like there are people in the community that do that, and it's like I'm not shitting on J Cool or anything. J Cool's fine, and now that we're all doing Hackfile, everybody should be okay. Like in the community with the
theoretically we should be, but remember 2027, things are going to change for the worse.
2027, we're just what was it?
We're going to start having like perfect RNG files.
Yeah, perfect RNG file is going to be.
You know what? I've had enough shit with PD. We're gonna change the game even more and not have RNG.
Yeah, but that's just part of the thing. Like that, any part of any community can affect, or the I don't know. I guess more popular part of the community. I wouldn't even say that. Just the higher end of the times of a speedrunning community. That's just can affect whatever can at large affect a lot of things within the community, which is interesting. Like I remember back in the day, Bouncy Boy having a big effect over, like complaining about certain things. What was it? His like mod ship. I remember him getting really mad at.
Oh yeah, he had a huge beef with Milk.
Yeah,
because he didn't like Milk at all, and Milk had mod, and he felt like it was bullshit for some reason.
And he was complaining about the whole how the whole community was toxic. And we like I remember Quan and I maybe Calf. Like I remember we all DM'd him on Twitter being like, please stop like accusing everybody of being toxic. It's you and Milk are having this discussion. Don't bring in your entire fan base to attack like the community. And I remember that happened.
See, that's Sunshine's in kind of a good place right now because there's no really big influential streamer playing it right now. Yeah. There's no like prime Samurai Man or Bouncy Boy with like 1,000 viewers every time. Whereas I mean, they can have a huge influence on decisions if they just like sort of send their viewers to complain about something. That kind of happened in Odyssey recently.
Yeah, the Small Ant thing.
The whole Small Ants drama with the category extension, which I thought was hilarious. Like they made like their whole category extension fuss made our timing discussion thing look like nothing.
Yeah,
it was kind of funny.
There was a huge drama, but like mods were getting harassed. I don't know the extent of what happened in that thing, but
shit was crazy.
It kind of reminds me of what was it? There's just random drama everywhere in gaming. There was the guy that got killed in Rainbow Six Siege that accused the other guy of cheating, and then he got harassed. I don't know if like somebody out there might know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like
I think I've heard of that, but I don't know about it either.
Like something King. I don't remember his exact name, but he was just like, oh, that's bullshit. And it was just from the other guy's perspective, it's just like he walked in and he died. It was just like, okay, but he sent his entire fan base to just go harass this guy for hacking or for.
If you're a big streamer, don't do that.
But yeah, it just there's a lot of cases of that in communities are random. It happens.
I've been called a gatekeeper for not wanting race file, but never been sent death threats, so it's never gotten that bad for me. And yeah, so the community is really important for a game.
Mm-hmm.
And are there any games you've like what are the games you're considering maybe dipping your toes into at the moment? Or do you even have any?
I don't have very many in my mind because it's just like I'm doing Raid Shadow Legends. I'm grinding Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends is on the way out, I think, of my brain.
How's the Raid Shadow Legends community?
Very disjointed. It's like one of those really popular games that you don't really talk to, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's just sort of it spreads like a coronavirus through a YouTube sponsorship. You hear about it, you play it, and you get addicted to it.
Theoretically, you could speedrun Raid Shadow Legends.
You should do it.
You know what? There would be RNG because you have to, in order to do any percent, you do have to open some shards. And some shards, you know what? You could get a rare champion. You're just grinding until you get a rare champion at the start. That'd be horrible. That'd be sick. It's a 1% chance. That sounds horrid. Anyway, I don't know. I think it'll have to be less than Sunshine. I think it would have to be, in order to start, it would have to be less than an hour, maybe.
Shorter than Sunshine? Yeah, maybe.
Because Unless it was just a game that we picked up and went, just like you were saying, you know what? Sunshine's out. I'll talk to the Sunshine community for the rest of my life probably, but you know what? Fuck that game. I'm gonna go over here.
Yeah, that's the cool thing is that you don't have to be playing a game to be part of the community. Yeah. So like if you switch games, you don't just stop talking to people. You can still talk to them. You're just not playing it.
Yeah, like Quaniza retired.
Yeah,
from
supposedly
Sunshine.
He'll probably come back at some point.
Well, he's been doing rando SM64. I don't know how much. I don't know how much that'll affect his speedrunning of Sunshine, but yeah, he left. It's not like he can't join calls or join chats and people aren't excited to see him. Like it happens all the time. I don't know. Once you're, I feel like maybe it's true with like SM64 and everything, but once you're part of the SMS community and have made your mark, you can come back and be like, hey. And everybody's just like, oh, hey, it's Justin DT. Like Justin DT can show up anywhere. And
like, dude, I would love to see Justin again.
And Justin, because he shows up in my chat every now and then. I'm like, oh, hey. And he's just like, oh, hey. Because he's trying to support his Canadian brethren.
Yep.
Brethren.
I like how his Twitch name became Justin DTF at some point.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
So, like, he comes into my chat, and I'm just like, oh, hey, I haven't seen you in years. Because I think he was active for literally just a year in Sunshine, and then he just dipped.
He was mainly a GoldenEye 007 speedrunner. He was top 10 in that game. And he dabbled in Sunshine. He's, like, insanely good at games, so he got good at Sunshine super fast.
He got really good.
Like, he was one of the top 5 any percent time in, like, less than a year.
Yeah, he was one of the first get really good really fast guys. And we were like, oh, shit.
Justin DT was foreshadowing for the current Zoomer generation.
And we kind of credited it. I remember when he got good, we went, oh, he has a history in speedruns. Like, we looked at his stuff. He had ILs in GoldenEye. He had, I think he has an insane amount of games. Yeah. I remember looking at his speedrun.com account. He had pages. And it's just like, oh, well, this is just another game that he plays. It makes sense that he, like, could somehow move some of his... Because when you speedrun a game, when you move to another game, there is like, I'd assume, like, the mentality that you develop.
Oh, yeah, it definitely carries over. Like, that's part of why we learned Sunshine sort of slowly, I think, because at least for me, I didn't know what I was doing for the first year. Like, learning-wise, I just kind of had my own method. Like, okay, I'll practice these things over and over again until I don't mess it up most of the time, and I should be good, right? So,
well, that's why it's confusing that, like, sure, there's a lot of resources and stuff in SMS now, but, like, mentality goes a long way, and it's still surprising that a lot of people are getting really good really fast. Like, sure, resources are there, but it's not... I'm kind of surprised that based on, I guess, like, how much we've been pushing out there, like, mentality being important, the fact that they're still getting that good and, like, that fast.
I think some people just inherently have, like, a better mentality in general, which definitely helps.
But then you watch Ouija get, like, rage mad, and you're just like, well,
okay, well, then some people are just gods of gaming, like Ouija.
Yeah, gods of gaming that periodically get really mad. It's an interesting discussion to have, like, how important is mentality? Because, like, Reed has a horrible fucking mentality. He's really good, but he has a horrible mentality, and that's keeping him back.
If you're godly enough, you don't need mentality.
and Reed has a better time than me now. He has, like, a 115, but
he's really good.
He's really good, but he's being held back by the fact his mentality is dog shit. And I don't know, it's interesting to think about, like, the balance of it all. Because I can't argue that Ouija's being held back by his mentality, but I don't think his mentality's amazing.
It's not as bad Reed's, but
yeah. But I don't think it, and I'd like to think that my mentality is really good, but sometimes it's just horrible.
I feel like mine used to be better, but then as you sort of subconsciously, whether you like to admit it or not, develop an ego. And I have a bigger ego now than when I started, obviously. And when I started, I thought I was nobody because I was nobody. And I didn't really care if I lost runs and, like, lost races and stuff. But nowadays, it almost, like, stings a little bit to lose, even though it really shouldn't. It's just kind of like a silly thing.
I think the ego is only contributing to my ILs right now, where I'm just like, I really should have a better placement than this.
I should have a better Bianca 4 time. What the hell?
It's dude, ILs are really hard.
Yeah.
And it's kind of tough. But yeah, if we're gonna look for a new speed game, it'll have to be like something bite sized.
It has
Relatively.
to fit so many criteria. Like, I don't know, it's dumb. Like, we picked up Sunshine, at least I did, because it was one of my childhood favorites. I'm like, yeah, okay, pick it up, sure. But now I feel like I have to go through a laundry list of, is the community good? Is there not much RNG? Is it
Yeah.
Is it short? Is it cool? Is it epic? You know?
Yeah, being your sixth speed game or whatever, however many you've played, and my third, I guess. There's a lot more to like think about going in instead of being like, oh well, because my Sunshine introduction was I own this game. That was it.
Did you even enjoy it growing up a whole lot?
Well, I played it a little bit. I was talking about it on stream the other day. I don't remember anything except for the one story about my cousin hinting me towards how to enter Nokey Bay. Just like, oh, Mario wings to the sky. And I was like, oh, I know how to do it. Like,
yeah.
And that's how he gave me the hint. Past that, I remember nothing about playing SMS when I was a kid. So, like, before I started speedrunning it, it would have been not even close to my top however many games. But now that I've spent so much time with it.
Four distinct childhood memories of Sunshine. The first one was struggling with Rico 1. Like, I had no idea how to get that upper section. Like, I couldn't navigate that weird maze thing. And I didn't really know. Like, I was like 8 years old or whatever. At first, I sucked at games. It was like my first 3D game ever. I didn't know how to wall kick or anything. I was pretty bad. Yeah. My second memory, actually the next two memories both involve one of my brother's friends. He let us know how to go to Nokey Bay, of course. We never played 64, so we didn't know. It's where they assume you know to look into the sun, as if they assume you played 64 before.
Well, it's like the thing that people argue about is just like, all the Piantas are looking up, so you should go look up. And I'm like, I don't know.
It's a bit of a stretch, but yeah. On that same token, it's kind of nice to have stuff like that because nowadays stuff's too handholdy.
Yep.
You know, I like those sort of mystery moments in games where you gotta figure it out.
Imagine Sunshine today, like you walk near Nokey Bay and then your virtual boo goes off and EGAD's on the other end being like, oh hey, it looks like you're supposed to go into this shiny circle and then look up. It's just like, oh
yeah,
shut the fuck up, EGAD.
If Sunshine was made nowadays, it would have an EGAD, virtual boo, thing like that.
Well, EGAD does fit into the universe because
it's true.
You know what, Flood?
We just mentioned Sunshine exists in the same universe.
There would be at least like a text by Flood because Flood doesn't say anything about entering Nokey Bay. Like he talks about the triangle jump. He talks about
the triangle jump.
Dude, the triangle jump.
I still love calling it that.
It's infamous. I don't know. He talks about that. He talks about like the toxicity entering the eel, whatever. He doesn't say anything when you're near the entrance to Nokey Bay. He doesn't go like, "Oh, you should." I don't know. Everybody seems to be looking up Mario. What do you think? Like he doesn't say anything.
And so, then my third memory as a kid is that same friend of my brother's helping us beat Pen 8. Or I think I wasn't even in the house. But my friend and my brother's friend and my brother spent like over an hour trying to just beat Pen 8, and they finally did, and we popped off so hard. Or I popped off at the news of that happening. I was like, holy shit, that balloon level is impossible. How'd you beat it? And then the fourth and final memory I have is, I think I was like sick for a week, and I was playing Gelato Hundreds while drinking like chicken broth or something. And yeah, that's my memories as a kid.
Wait, which hundreds?
Gelato Hundreds.
Oh, okay.
I was like spending probably over an hour just trying to get 100 coins there.
Dude, 100 coins in some of the levels is really hard.
Yep.
I don't know how they expected you to be able to collect 100 coins, and like, because some levels you just can't. Like how?
Yeah, there's certain levels where it's actually impossible. Like some daytime Pianta levels, you literally can't.
Yeah, you actually, for all daytime Pianta levels, you literally can't.
Well, actually, except for Pianta 6, where you can max out the coin counter.
For a casual player.
Yeah, for a casual player, though.
All right, let's...
No weird exploits like Pianta 6.
It's like, it's actually, yeah.
Actually, if you just, like, continuously save and talk to the same Pianta over and over again, you get infinite coins.
Mm-hmm.
It takes like a million years, but you can do it. So yeah, I also don't know what game I pick up again. I've actually heavily considered revisiting some games. Like I wanted a small, like super small part of me wanted to re-pick up Four Swords Adventures and actually be the first person to challenge Z Master of that game. Then also I'm like, God, that would take over a year of work. Z Master is so fucking good. It's such a hard game to be good at. There's so many frame perfect precise tricks. I don't know if I can commit to that. So I don't know. Or I could pick it up and get like maybe like a sub 210. But we'll see. But for new games, it would either be on the GameCube or the Game Boy Advance, but I'm not sure what it would be. So
we're gonna have to figure it out.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be like a modern game, like not Celeste or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Every time I think about speedrunning Celeste, it's just a 2D, really hard, like, I don't know. I feel like the more work put into a speed game, the less attractive it is, kind of.
Because it's like, well, then what's the work for me to do? Everyone's done everything.
Yeah, it's like what CAF refers to SM64 like. It's just like, it's like copying a textbook.
Yeah, that's how it feels. That's why you almost don't want to, at least I don't want to pick up a super established game, because what am I going to do? Like, reinvent the wheel here?
Yeah, and that's kind of what we think about, like, people starting Sunshine, right?
We started Sunshine at the perfect time. I just can't get over how true that is.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm still finding stuff. Trey's around, you know?
Thanks.
The fact that you said nothing makes it kind of
Trey continues to not find anything ever. He doesn't open his mind up. Things. He has no imagination.
I keep trying to keep transferring IL strats to actual runs. You know what? I'm breaking barriers.
I keep trying to transfer Rico 5 IL strats to 80% losing runs in Rico 5. I gotta, if I go back to 80%, I gotta get smarter. Like, I'm gonna keep playing ILs because I want to fill out the spreadsheet more, but I'm gonna have to be smarter about not getting super into the IL mindset. I gotta like also practice in preparation for that full game mindset you gotta have.
Yes, exactly. You have to like do the boring shit. You can't just make ILs your practice. You have to do the boring work.
Sorry, JP pal.
And you can't pull a JP pal. You gotta do the boring work and try to do RTA ILs. That's what you have to do. And you know what? It's boring to an extent.
But actually, a way to make it a little less boring is through a commonly forgot practice of IWs, individual world runs.
I'm not a big fan still. I'm still
not a big fan.
They're not
as popular now because like you can set up like fast codes for them where it goes level to level to level with no transition between them. But even then, it feels better to do it off a game disc because it feels like this is a more official thing and there's more at stake with this run, so it's better practice. IW practice is much better practice for being in a somewhat nervous situation because you know you can PB at something that's not just one level. But it's not perfect. It's just like a bite-sized way of sort of practicing for late game practice, I guess.
I think IWs just, for me, make it just more like doing Rico IWs is the most boring shit.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
It's just like, sure, I want to, like what you're saying, improve your Rico 5 strats or whatever you want to do, like transferring some of your IL stuff, but not all of it. That's the important thing. You got to realize that not all of the IL stuff is viable, and you got to figure out what isn't. That's the important thing.
I think that IWs of Serena and Nokey are the most helpful because they're the levels you're going to be doing when you have that late game pressure.
Yeah.
And Serena, once you get a good Mansa, you have to like clutch it out through the secret levels. Then you have to hope you get a good King Boo, and then clutch out at the very end. So,
dude, Serena's hard. Clutching out the end is definitely a good way to put it, because clutching out Serena Beach scrubbing is
especially on JP, you can really fuck you up.
Dude, it screwed me up a couple times. I'm just like 213 just for no reason. It's like,
you'll get more used to it the more you do it. Okay, dude, 213's not terrible. Like you can do worse than that.
Yeah, but it does feel bad. It's just like, oh, this is like 222 pace, and then it's just like, okay, well now you have to go find some goop you missed that you might not be able to see. Go for it.
I heard that
It's
you
like,
probably
okay.
won't be able to see because most of it's invisible. It's really weird.
Tough. I still feel like there's more value in the center area. Like there was a huge patch of goop beside the guy that I'm just like, okay, I'll get it at the end. And I actually finished the whole level without it being, I think some goop areas are valued more than others in Serena. And it'd be interesting, like somebody going in and
No, I think it's already been
what's
proven that
valuable.
like every patch of goop is 1 unit. And you have to get a certain number of units out of so many units. It's like
Are you
it's
making
very
that up,
linear.
or you think it's proven? Are
I
you
think
making
Nokey
stuff
Doki
up?
proved that already.
Oh, okay.
And he proved
Well-
the amount you gotta get. I think that on NTSCU, it's around, I don't remember, 95%?
95%. 95.
And then on J, it's like close to 99%.
Yep.
I might be totally wrong. It's something like that. But yeah, it's actually been like, the math's been done. Like, we know like the exact amount that you need.
Yeah. It is an adequate way to say you're clutching out the end of Serena.
Yeah.
Like it's luck, 3 levels that are kind of skill based. They're skill
Yeah,
based.
2 through 4 is totally skill.
And then RNG again. And then clutch, and then Shadow Mario, depending on what your strat is.
Yep.
Like if you're going for the quick kill, don't fuck it up too bad. And if you're just doing regular strats, it's just you just do it. Easy. Just do it.
Just do it. Let's see if I think what else there is.
I can complain about the Apple Arcade app.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and I've never heard of that. So what's up with that?
I've been looking at the ad. Like legit, I just watched the ad. I don't have an Apple device or anything, but they have an Apple Arcade ad that plays all the time on Twitch now.
I
like watching
haven't even
ads.
heard of this because I have ad block. But go ahead.
I like watching ads. Like people have suggested ad block. I'm like, you know what? I want to know what the people are talking about.
Dude, every
you know what?
every content creator ever loves you.
I was disappointed. I never actually saw the Coke Gaming ad. I think in Canada it just didn't run.
Yeah,
I had to look it up on
I only
YouTube.
heard of that because of Twitter complaints.
I had to look it up on YouTube in order to figure out what everybody was talking about. Because everybody was just like, Coke Gaming, what? Oh, $500? Well, I don't even remember. Like 100 gift subs? I don't remember how much Coke Gaming actually gave those people that everybody thought that they were being really cheap about, which is funny. But everybody was complaining about that ad so much, but I actually couldn't see it, and I was pissed that I never saw it. I just wanted to see it once. But anyway, I'm getting inundated with the Apple Arcade ads, just advertising these shitty looking. I don't even. There's just like a hockey game. There's a whatever game, and they all look like super kiddie. And I don't know.
It's
I
for
hate
kids,
the ad.
Sid. You're not a kid anymore.
I just hate the ad because it doesn't make me. It should try to make me want to play it and look at the ad and be like, oh, okay, well, there's a dinosaur game or whatever. It's just done in this very kid-like animation for all the games. It's not. It doesn't change up the animation style at all. It just goes through each different type of game. Like there's a hockey game. There's an astronaut running away from a dinosaur. I don't know why. I've never actually thought it through before I said that statement, but that's kind of interesting. But it looks like a little kid animation thing, and there's like a hockey game and other stuff.
Have you ever thought that like maybe Apple's put in millions of dollars of research into knowing what kids would think looks cool?
You know what? A dinosaur running away from an astronaut kind of.
I think about if you were 6 years old, you think that looks cool.
Well, it would depend if I had an Apple device. If I had an Apple device, sure, I'd be like, okay, let's get Apple Arcade for free. Why not? But I think nowadays I'd be like, you know what? I have an iPhone. I'll just download it for free and just see what's up. But I don't think it's advertising any game specifically. It's just advertising the app that you can play the games off of, maybe, or something like that. Like an NES,
Mini.
Virtual console
on
the Switch, something like that, just like a virtual console of some sort. And none of the games look enticing, and which I guess is just kind of a general. You're just trying to show a general take on what the app is supposed to be or what games on the arcade are going to be, and you're not actually fixating on any one specific thing. But it just doesn't entice me at all, and it's a bad ad. and I should know because I like ads.
Apple, you failed.
And that's annoying. Because some ads are really good. Like there have been ads in the past that I actually like sit and watch. I can't think of any of them right now, but I know I've like sat to watch ads and been disappointed when it like, because periodically Twitch glitches out and it just skips the ad sometimes, and I'm like, oh, but I wanted to watch that. Like I can't think of it right, like random movie ads or whatever, but I don't know. I'm just trying to. I always try to stay on top. I'm the only person that pays attention when I'm like watching television with my parents at any point that I actually watch the ads, and like, oh, that was a bad ad for this reason, or that was a good ad because of this reason. I don't know. I'm just very ad oriented.
I think more corporations wish there were more people like you.
Well,
who want to watch ads.
I watch ads, but I also critique them and being like, well, that Toyota ad was shitty for whatever reason.
Never gonna buy Toyota.
There was I actually watched a 3-minute one for Bud Light.
Oh shit.
Where they had Charlie XC1. I don't know. She's a recording artist. XCI. I don't actually know what her name is. She was in she's featured on a few songs. Not the reason that I actually watched the 3-minute thing, but they had couples that had broken up, and she was interviewing them on why they broke up, and I'm just interested. Like, if it's 3 minutes, fine, whatever. I'll watch this Bud Light ad for 3 minutes just to see what the interactions were, and it was kind of funny just to watch the interactions. And not that I'm gonna buy Bud Light or anything, but I just remember it was Bud Light. The worst commercials are just the commercials that you leave the commercial and be like, oh. But you don't even know what the commercial was for. Just like insurance ads. Insurance ads are the worst for it. Like Progressive is the only good insurance ad because they have the Progressive girl and they have Progressive on everybody. And you just remember that it's a Progressive insurance commercial because they have the Progressive girl. I don't remember her name, but I know that she's the Progressive girl. Flo. See, you even know the fact that you and the Geico commercial, because the Geico. I guess I'm listing the insurance commercials that are actually good at it, but there are definitely insurance commercials that suck at it.
I think that as a kid, I don't know when I reached the age where I finally understood what insurance ads were advertising. I just sort of assumed like, oh, it's a funny gecko, haha, that's cool. I was like, wait, I didn't know it was actually like for insurance.
You know what? Thinking about it right now, I can't think of a bad insurance commercial because like everything I'm thinking of, every company I'm thinking of, there are definitely bad ones, but I like State Farm. State Farm has great ads where it's just like the guy calling State Farm in the closet.
And then Allstate has the Allstate guy.
And the Allstate has dude, maybe insurance commercials have stepped up their game.
Maybe they're secretly the best commercials of all.
Maybe they're just, and oh my, there was a Doritos ad. There was a Doritos ad that didn't have the word Doritos in it. And it was recent. And they were just like, oh, you know what? And it was just this guy talking over the whole ad and saying like, you know what? You know what's bold? Not saying the name of your, essentially not saying the name of your product in your ad, and just saying a bunch of bars. I guess we'd say them.
But did it have
the ad?
Anyone eating Doritos in the ad?
Not out of a bag of Doritos. Like maybe they had the sound of the crunch, but they definitely had like a billboard that had the shape of a triangle. That didn't actually say the word Doritos. It's just like, well, you know, like, you know what this, and I knew it was for Doritos. Oh, and that was a really good ad. Like, I can't pull it up in my mind right now because I think the last time I saw it was like a week and a half ago. But I remember thinking while watching the commercial, being like, actually, this is a badass ad because I know exactly what they're talking about, and they don't have to mention. And the reason that I know and that I'm paying attention to this ad is because they're not doing it. And it's like, it's mind blowing. But other ads are just garbage sometimes. And you know what? I can't list the garbage ones because they're just bad.
All the Super Bowl ones where it was just, hey, look, it's celebrity X using this product.
Like the woke ones recently are just bad. They're just bad ads. But to be fair, everybody's talking about them. So I don't know. Maybe it's a good ad.
Wait, which one?
Like the Gillette commercial, and there was a recent Nissan
you mean like
commercial of the same ilk.
The woke commercials?
Where it's just like the woke stuff. I don't know. I could go further into the woke stuff, but that's neither here nor there.
Or like last of all, you have the changing IHOP to IHOB stuff.
Yeah,
That stuff is
I don't know.
genius because it does work. Everyone complains about it, but ultimately they're getting more business. So
It's really interesting the things that people like. Attention is more valuable than what kind of attention, but
yeah, like I think that the Coke gaming thing worked even better than they would have even expected.
yeah, it's just, everybody was complaining. It's just like, oh, they invested no money into this ad. It's like everybody's talking about it on this website. Like sometimes when you just get in on Twitch, it's a really interesting microcosm because just watching television or Raptors games or whatever and just seeing an ad, you don't get a contingent of people being like, I'm getting inundated by this ad on this television on this channel or anything. On Twitch, it's if you're getting inundated by an ad, there are people in chats complaining about it.
Yeah.
And it's legit a thing.
Whereas like on Twitch, it's like 1 30-second thing. On TV, it's like 3 minutes of bullshit.
Yeah. But it's just funny to like have the microcosm, or not even the microcosm, just the macrocosm of, you know what, you can watch this ad and then you can go, we actually kind of want you to go complain about it in the chat. Just like, oh wow, that Coke gaming commercial, horrible. Yeah. You know what we're talking about right now? Coke.
The more people complain, the more advertisers will try to like bait that into happening. So there's going to be more complaints and it's going to be like, wow, okay, cool.
It's interesting. I don't know. The meta behind advertising is, well, like, you don't want negative advertisement, but you don't want like nothing. You don't want a nothing, but you don't want
you're riding a fine line with that strategy.
So I wonder how the Gillette stuff and everything worked out, because everybody was talking about it. Like they had their comments turned off on YouTube, just like every one of those.
Oh yeah,
but
if you have comments turned off, you're admitting defeat. By the way.
Yeah,
you
like there
lose.
were a bunch of commercials or during the Super Bowl like that, but I don't know. People were talking about them for at least a day and a half.
If you see anything with comments turned off, always be wary. And actually,
like,
what kind of worries me
like,
is that I think some older GDQ VODs are getting comments turned off on, which is like, okay, but we'll see how that keeps up.
I don't know. The like-dislike ratio on commercials on YouTube are definitely a tell.
Oh yeah,
definitely a tell. A huge tell.
Yeah. YouTube better not ever remove dislikes.
I don't know. It's interesting. People accuse them of removing dislikes all the time, but I'm just like, I don't know.
Because I always use dislikes, the ratio of the two, as a measure of like how I should perceive the video going into it. Like if I see 99% liked, I'm thinking, okay, this should be a high quality video. Whereas if it's like 94% only, I'm always looking out for, okay, what's the small thing that people are not happy with that makes this video a little bit worse?
Or it's just a MrBeast video that's just like, let's get 90% likes or whatever. I don't remember what his requirement. Like there's like one of the most liked videos on YouTube is, and it was on the rewind for last year, the 3-minute basically.
Oh, the Watch Mojo rewind.
Yeah, the Watch Mojo rewind where they gave up because the year before was so bad. But they had the Watch Mojo one, and it was on there being like, oh, it was one of the most liked this year. And the MrBeast, what was it called? It's just like, let's get
this to the most liked video or something.
Yeah, it was literally just, and I'm just like, that's cheating. This is cheating. Come on, MrBeast.
I mean, hey, it worked. Anyway, I gotta take a piss. I think we should wrap this up.
Oh, you need to. All right. Well, I guess we've been talking for like an hour 15.
Yeah, a little more than that. I don't know.
I was going to complain about Raid Shadow Legends. 50,000 silver is nothing. That's all I want to say, really.
Yeah, those who get enticed from those sponsorships, 50,000 silver, according to Sid, that's not really that much at all. So
it's really not. It is absolutely nothing. I currently am sitting on, in my Raid Shadow Legends game right now, I have 6.7 million silver. And if I wanted to, I could go through that in a half an hour.
And he is still poor, so 50,000 is nothing.
It's insane. Like, because people advertise it on certain channels. It's just like, oh, Raid Shadow Legends is sponsoring this video, which is fine. Raid Shadow Legends, I'm having a good time with it. I think I'm coming near the end of my, like, participating in every daily challenge rope. But you know what? I'm right there right now. And whenever they advertise it and go like, oh, there's 50,000 silver, for somebody that actually plays the game, me, which it's kind of a rarity for somebody to actually be playing the game, I find, because I feel like I'm one of the only people I know that actually plays it, even though it's advertised everywhere.
It's weird. Like, it seems so... The player base is so sparse. Like, it's a lot of players, but they're all just so spread out.
Yeah. Or they're just, like, extremely casual.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm, like, one of the only gamers
But you're a
that play it.
hardcore gamer playing it.
But whenever they say it's just like, oh, you get a 50,000 silver bonus, and you're like, oh, that sounds like a lot. It's absolutely nothing. It's actually nothing.
Could have fooled me.
If I went through 1 million silver upgrading one piece of equipment to level 16. Level 16 is like maxed out. If you max out one piece of equipment, it takes over 1 million silver. So keep that in mind. I just think it's really funny that they keep just being like, oh, I've seen it on multiple videos.
I'm sure
like,
it works, it sounds like a lot.
Oh, we're advertising Raid Shadow Legends. You get, if you use this promo code, you get a rare champion, which I have like, I don't know, 60 of. And now that I've been playing for a few months, more than a few months, and 50,000 silver. I'm just like, yeah, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. But you know what? It's better than nothing, I guess. Because I started with actually nothing. That was going to be my transition from advertisements into Raid Shadow Legends, because it's the advertisement game. Anyway,
actually, that just reminded me. During that time, I remembered Animal Crossing comes out pretty soon.
Yay.
PogChamp, I'm going to be playing it. Sid may or may not play it.
I will definitely not.
But I will definitely be playing it. So that will delay the Piana 6 video a little more, very likely. But I promise that the video will come out sometime in April, and I will hold myself to that. So,
sometime in April. Held to it.
I'm held to that. And you know what? Considering I only have about 11 minutes worth of video to make, I should be able to meet that deadline, so we'll see. Anyway,
so yeah.
Thank you for listening, folks and folkettes. We're on Spotify and Google Play. Sure to follow me and Sid on Twitter and Twitch. We're super active, except not really, sort of.
Hey,
Sid's active, I'm not.
I'm trying to be every morning on weekdays.
Sid's a lot more active than me. I'm making a video. Once the video's done, I'll be more active, I promise. So, have a good one.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.